Hi, it's the Rawesome Vegan Gal, and as you can see on this counter, I have lots of lovely goodies from Foods Alive. And today, I'm going to be making some sweet treats, and I have some already made. So welcome. And so what I first want to do is show you this bottle. This is the Laguna, or I should say Laguna actually, I learned correctly. It's the Nature's Design bottle. So what I've been doing is putting water in here and it revitalizes it, and I will do another video about this bottle, and I've used it for cleansing. So what I'm going to do is I have water in this other bottle here. I have a big glass bottle here, and I'm going to transfer some into here because it takes a few minutes to revitalize the water, and I am going to be doing a smoothie, so I want, and I need to look at the bottle while I'm doing this so I don't spill. So I want to have the water all ready for me when I do that. So it's about a 17-ounce bottle in this other glass bottle, which is a lead-free bottle, and I will give you a link to the site here if you want to get a bottle like this for your water, which is also nice. So I'm going to let this sit here and revitalize itself, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to be making today. So let's first do our trail mix, which is an easy little thing that we're doing here with some of the products from Foods Alive. So we have here cacao nibs, and we also have here jungle peanuts, and we also have here goji berries. And we talked about it in a previous video. So what I did was I combined them into a baggie. And this is a very special bag. This is actually from a company called BioBag, and I have a video on them as well on my site. And these are 100% certified compostable. So what I did was I prefer to use a bag like this than to use bags that are chemicals, especially when you're putting food in it. So you probably can't really see the food in here, but I will show it to you. Open up the bag here, and then you can probably maybe see inside what I have here. So I'll take some out to show you. I put some goji berries and some jungle peanuts and some cacao nibs. I don't know if you could see that. There you go. A little bit. So that's a nice thing you can have for you as a snack. Gives you some energy because you got some protein from the nuts and a little sweetness. And the cacao is not as sweet, but it's actually a really nice combination. I've had it before and it's really good. So the next thing that we're going to do, which has already been prepared, and I will explain how I did it, is our chia seed pudding. So there is a recipe, and this is our chia seeds. There is a recipe on the back of the package, and they mentioned to use 2 tablespoons of chia seeds with 1 cup of like a nut milk. But I found that it actually needed 4 tablespoons. And what I did was I took hemp seeds, which I have over here, and I ground up probably about 1 ounce. And I have this lovely little grinder here. This is my TriBest grinder. And I just put it in a little container like this, put it on here, turn it, and it blends really fast. It only takes maybe 5 seconds or so, and it becomes really creamy. And then what I did with that is I took some of my water that was revitalized in my water bottle, my Laguna water bottle, and I made it into the nut milk. Then what I added to our lovely chia seed pudding is I also have some ginger powder. I added just a little bit of that. And then I also added some vanilla powder, which I have over here, and I wanted to tell you about vanilla. So this is a vanilla bean. If you've never seen a vanilla bean, it's a fresh vanilla bean in the container. And from there it has these tiny little seeds. So there's a company called Living Tree Community Foods, and here it is as a powder, if you can see that. There's a little glare there. And what I did was I took about a teaspoon of that or so, or a teaspoon and a half, and added that to the concoction. And then for sweetener, I used coconut sugar, and this is from another company called Nutiva. And again, I'll link all the information below this video. So what I did was I mixed it together and then let it sit, because the chia seeds expand in the water, and this is what I came up with. Here is our chia seed pudding. You can see that in this container. I can try to show you that to you. As my, there we go, you can see that. I'm a little off there, there we go. That's our chia seed pudding. And I'm gonna try a little bit and let you know how it tastes. And it's really nice and thick. You can see as it pours out of the little bowl here. Really nice. Now if you like it sweeter, then you can add some more of the sweetener. If you like it a little more with the zing, you can add a little more of the ginger. So next we're going to talk about another sweet treat that I already prepared in advance, and that is our truffles. So I made two different kinds of truffles, and I made truffles with our cacao powder, and I also made truffles with our carob powder. So I'll tell you what I did. What I did was I added to that, each had probably about 3 tablespoons of the powder. And for the cacao, I also added black sesame seeds. So I grinded them just like the hemp. Here are our black sesame seeds. I grinded them just like the hemp seeds, maybe about 2 teaspoons. And once they were ground up, I added them to the mixture of the cacao, the black sesame seeds, and then I also added our maca powder, which I have over here. And let's see, also a little bit of stevia to give it a little sweetness. And if you want to know more about stevia, I do have a video talking about sugar in a in my YouTube channel. So what I did was I just added some of our wonderful water here in our bottle to get a creamy consistency. Now, if you put too much water, it's going to be runny. You want it to be thick because you're going to make balls out of it, and then you're going to freeze them. So what I also use sometimes just to make it a little more thicker in case you add too much water is I also have coconut flour here from Nutiva. It's also certified organic. So I added a little of that. And then this is what you get. This is my chocolate ones. Cacao. You can see that. And the other one I made was with carob, so it's the same process. Now for the carob one, I used the vanilla powder again. I also used some ground flax seeds. So here I have the raw flax seeds, which I ground. And I wanted to show you something really cool. If you've never seen flax seeds, what they look like when they grow in nature. Where I used to live, somehow I must have had them in my soil where I was composting. And all of a sudden I see this large stalk. It grows much larger, but this is just a piece I broke off and took with me. And all of a sudden I see this and I thought it was some kind of a weed. Never saw it before. So I'll get really close if you could see those little bells. They look like little bells. So inside there's like little sections. I'll take one out and get really close to the camera. See if you could see that. See how it has little sections. Within each section is one seed, and I'm not sure how many there is per section, but it's pretty amazing that out of that comes the flax seeds, and they're well protected like that in nature. So back to my carob truffles. So we used flax seeds. I also used coconut sugar, which I have over here, and I showed you that before from Nutiva. And I also did use a little bit of coconut flour, and then I did the same mixture process, and then I got my carob truffles. Sorry if the lighting is off a little here. There's the carob truffles, if you can see those. So those are really nice, and you just keep them in the freezer, and they're really tasty. So the final sweet treat we're going to make is actually, I'm going to make it live, if you can believe it. It's going to be our smoothie. So for our smoothie, we're going to be using some goji berries, which you know about here. Some goji berries, which I actually soaked, because I'm going to be using my little personal blender here, and I didn't want to have a problem that they wouldn't blend well. So what I did was I soaked about a 1/4 cup in about a 1/2 cup of water, so they're really nice and soft. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them to my container. Now, when I got this Tri-Base personal blender, it had attachments for the blender, so you can use mason jars, and these came actually with them, but you could use certain ones of your own. They also have BPA free, but if I can use glass, I prefer that. So we're going to do it in our nice glass container here. We're going to add our goji berries to our container here with the water. So we're going to use the soaking water and get them all in the jar. So they're nice and soft, so we should blend it really well. And then the other things we're going to add to our smoothie is some maca, some carob. So let's get our maca first. So here's our maca. So we're going to add some of that. Maybe about a teaspoon or so. Although I have a larger spoon there. Let's see, we need a teaspoon. If I can find one, here we go. I have a wooden spoon here. So we'll say about a teaspoon of maca. Then we're going to add maybe a couple of teaspoons of carob powder. We have it right here. We're going to add our carob. And then we're going to add a little bit of coconut, our coconut flour that I mentioned. So maybe again like another teaspoon or so of that we're going to add. And then we're also going to add a little pinch of vanilla powder, which I have in here. And the last ingredient we'll add is a little bit of fresh mango. And we'll see what we come up with. Now, I'm not going to add any water to it, so it could be really thick. But you can always add a little water. So maybe about a quarter teaspoon of our vanilla powder. And then I have our mango right here. We still have some mangoes here where I'm living, so I'm going to peel off the skin. And then we're going to add a little bit of mango and then blend it up. So we'll peel this off a little here. And the mango looks beautiful. Look at that color inside. Gorgeous. So we're just going to take a couple slices of that and add it to our mason jar here. Just to make it nice. And, you know, if you add more, it's going to be probably a more orangey color. And if you prefer to use the cacao instead of the carob, that's fine too. However you decide. We're going to add a little bit more mango because I love mango. I also have some videos on my channel on mangoes as well. If you'd like to learn more about mangoes, the ones that I've found here where I live in Florida, and pretty amazing. So that's our mangoes, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our cover, which I left over here in the dishwasher, so excuse me for momentarily leaving my space here, and I need to find my cover here to use it with. So we're going to attach this, because I have one is for our blending and one's for our grinding. So that's for our blending and this is for our grinding. So there's two separate ones. So for example, when I did the hemp milk, I used the grinder first and then I switched to the blender piece. So we're going to take a whirl at this. So excuse the noise for just a second. Okay, wow, that looks pretty. It's got a nice color on that. Look at that. Wow. That looks real beautiful. We're going to open that up, see what we got. That smells really nice. And what I have here is a glass straw. It is not from Foods Alive, but they do sell glass straws, so I want to promote that on their site. So I prefer to use that. If you're going to drink your smoothie with a straw, this is the way to do it. So let's give it a taste. It gets my thumbs up. Wow, that's really good. A little bit chunky, but actually really tasty. I'm enjoying it so much I don't want to stop eating it. Look how pretty it looks from the mango in the straw. So that is really awesome. So I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed these videos. And I will have another video soon. This is the Rawesome Vegan Gal.